UFC 291, Poirier versus Gaethje 2. We're straight back into it. This is crazy. You know, this is going to be, which was probably one of the best fights that happened in UFC most recent timeline. Is actually re-emerging again. Two of the most baddest, if you can imagine, fighters in the lightweight division are going to be going up against it for the BMF belt, which is now up for grabs since Jorge Masvidal relinquished it and left himself as well. Although I do think this fight should have come around a little bit sooner. But real quickly, Ash, my name's Sai and I'm here with Ash today. What's your opinions on I forgot, some of you also got to introduce yourself too with these things. But I mean, you know, this is a BMF belt on the line, right? So what's your thoughts exactly on whether it's right or should I have considered someone else for this?
To be fair, obviously, everyone has their own different opinion on obviously the BMF belt. And to be fair, like you said it there, I think these two guys are both bad motherfuckers. Honestly, they both are.
Yeah,
they're both. Yeah, sorry. They both are. They both are the best fit for this belt. If you know what I mean. They're both
I agree.
Throw down whenever they need to.
I could potentially toss someone else in the mix, but you know what? It's going to be really hard to say that they're more worthy of it than these two.
Yeah, that could be a video that we could release soon. Top 5 BMFs.
Bad mofos, right? Right.
You see.
Well, here's the thing about Gaethje is like he's a kind of badass that would set himself on fire just to burn his opponents, and that's what you need to see. Yeah. That's what you need to see in a BMF. You know, someone who just goes in there, hell for leather, just getting the job done. You know.
Yeah, that's
What's up,
it.
Stephen? What's good, man?
Stephen's in the house. Welcome
you.
in, Stephen. I thought I'd just quickly chime on that in there, and then your favourite blockhead. Welcome in, sir. Obviously, JK spoke to you midweek. Hopefully, you're doing well. He says good afternoon from Dallas, Texas. We are doing well. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah,
I can't wait to break down this fight card.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So for those of you guys who are new to the channel, this is Against the Fence, the place to be if you are a fan or obsessed in any way about the UFC. And this is a show where we not tell you how to think, but teach you what to be not teach you what to think. We teach you how to think. There it is. I messed up my own tagline. But no, the point is, of course, we're going from the card on the main card, top to bottom, and talking about the fighting styles of each of the fighters, matchups, and some expected outcomes that we think is going to be happening along the way too. So chime in. Let's get your votes in as well. We're going to get the gauges. We're going to be using that. But ultimately, we're going to be getting into the much needed discussion about what is one of the sickest cards we've seen in a long while.
Yes, it's a very good card. Yes, and
I am
obviously.
Excited by this.
JK's put the perfect comment in there as well, just saying, is it better than UFC 290? A lot of people may say it isn't. Me personally, I think it's got to be. It's got to be. It's obviously there's a lot of Tony Ferguson fans. Hopefully he can go out there when we break this one down, but hopefully he can go out there and get the job done and actually get a victory for the first time in 15 years. It's got some top names on there. I can't wait to break down.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like a nomination card as well, isn't it? You got the two BMFs on top, but then you got we've got nominee number 1, Tony Ferguson, who's also, he should be a nominee for BMF. Honestly.
Yeah, but that's it as well. You got Tony Ferguson in there as well.
Yeah, Kevin Holland, he should be a nominee of some sort. The way he went up against with Stephen Wonderboy sort of showed him his sort of BMF ability, if you like.
Yeah.
Now I might even just thinking whether I'll take Vicente Luque in there too, but I don't know. But look, let's get into the card at hand, shall we? So we're going to be looking right down the barrel of this.
While you get that up, just read out a comment quick. Your favorite blocker says, "Yeah, I love the talking with JK on my show. It will be out on Saturday. Yes, cannot wait to go and watch that. Hopefully, JK done us proud. I know there was a few." What's the word I'm looking for here? Like imitations of obviously Connor and Paddy and whatnot. There was a few impressions. That's the one. That's the one I was looking for. He says
the guy's a comedian, I'll tell you.
Yeah, honestly, the impressions that he does are just second to none.
Yeah, they're on point.
The famous blockhead, favorite blockhead says tough one. I'm just excited for Poirier Gaethje and then Jan versus Alex.
Yeah,
and then Stephen goes, I wish I was watching live with you guys. It's one heck of a card. We wish we had you down there in the hide as well, bro.
Imagine. Don't worry. We'll be thinking. We might even get a cardboard cut out of Hasbulla kicked out.
We should have one of you instead. Well, you're HR now, so you got to be in present, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to know what we're doing to the card, do you?
Yeah, you don't have to know what we're doing.
That we will not take Hodge out. Being for sparring. All right, Ash.
Yeah.
It's on you, bro. Where are we going to go? From top down or bottom up?
Yeah, we start from top down.
Non-top down. All right, here we go. So we're going to look straight into it. Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. So you guys are going to be in for a treat from the get-go. Cards open. Now we're looking here at... I know, right?
Such a hard one to break down as well.
BMFs
really is.
in the division, the baddest mofos there is. And we're going to get one of these guys crowned officially on the night of. But we've got 29-7-0 for Dustin Poirier in the red corner and 25-4-0 for Justin Gaethje. Now, both these guys are fighting out of the States. No huge advantage here, except you've got a 5'11" height for Gaethje and 5'9" for Dustin Poirier. And then in the reach is only 2 inches in it for Poirier as well. So what he lacks in height, he does make up in reach. Now, it's not going to be drastically different. I probably wouldn't make that a notable point. But in terms of the odds here, you do see Poirier to be the favorite, minus 145 to the underdog, which is plus 2.5 in Justin Gaethje. Why? Potentially because we all saw how the first time they danced went, and taking that for any kind of, and taking that into consideration, you'll think it's probably going to be looking the same. If you're lucky, we'll get something the same as the first time out.
Oh, 1,000%, yeah.
Because that was just fire, and I would do that again. So, but I guess the question we're going to be getting into here is like, who's really changed? Who's really going to be bringing something new to the table?
That's a very, very great factor to bring into this, and I think
it's 2018 is when it happened, right? It was a while back.
Yes, exactly. So both fighters have evolved, and I think we all know how determined and how gritty Dustin Poirier is, and like you said, I still think throughout the whole Justin Gaethje's career, like you said it perfectly, he does set himself on fire to try and put his opponent on fire, and he's still been doing that since. So if it was hard to break it down back then, it's even harder to break it down now because they've both improved a lot as well. And I'm going to struggle, but we've got to get into it.
Yeah, no, it's it. No, we do. We really do. And I think if we look at how long ago that was, we've got some decent wins since then for like Gaethje. So Edson Barbosa, of course, Tony Ferguson, he's beat since then.
Yes.
Michael Chandler. And I think one of his biggest tests today was Rafael Fiziev.
Yes.
Out of all of those, he was one of the guys that was besting him in most exchanges. But it was a sheer case of Gaethje out grinding him,
It was a close fight, but like you said, what I will say is what Justin Gaethje did really well. He switched his game plan up mid-fight because we saw how successful Fiziev was in that first round, and then when it comes to the second round, Justin Gaethje switched his game plan, and then his uppercut was landing, his jab was landing a lot more. It was just a joy to watch him kind of switch it up because
you could also argue as well that. Dustin Poirier has also had some tough competition since as well because he's 1,000%. Since then, he's had Max Holloway, he's had Dan Hooker, he's had Conor McGregor, and of course Michael Chandler as well. So
it's crazy to see. I'm just looking at who he's fought after that. He fought obviously Eddie Alvarez, like I said, Max Holloway, Conor McGregor twice. Then he finished Michael Chandler, which obviously Gaethje went to a decision with Chandler, and obviously, as I said, Poirier finished Chandler, so he did play into it.
He did. I mean, do you reckon anyone's going to be, and this is one of the things I do want to get into before we get the gauges up, do you reckon, we're looking at the striking here, but do you reckon that anyone's going to want to introduce the ground game this time out? Are anyone going to take anyone down to the ground, and who will be the one to do it?
That's a very interesting question because they've both got wrestling and grappling in their lockers, and obviously Justin Gaethje more of a sort of wrestling background than Dustin Poirier, so it's crazy that he's got that sort of, I wouldn't say elite level of wrestling, but I would say he's got that wrestling in his locker. But again, like you said, he likes to put himself on fire to burn his opponents, and he likes to be in exciting fights. And I think once he gets hit, he's like, I'm not going to take you down now. I'm just going to keep walking forward.
Right. Yeah, this is it. So yeah, I mean, Gaethje's got a bit of that sort of grit to him, hasn't he? He's just going to keep coming forwards and attacking. Just try wear Poirier down, but I don't know if that's the right strategy to do against another BMF. He's got a title for. They're up there for a reason. But look, I'm not disappointed, even if this fight's the same as the last one.
Exactly. That
could be really
so
good.
It's hard as well because I like both.
I do.
Really like both fighters.
I think in this fight, the biggest winner are the fans. Honestly, whatever happens, I can't see any loser in this fight. That's outside of it. I think it's going to be a big win for it all around.
While you get the gauges up, the chat has been popping, so they're probably already up. But I'm just going to say your favorite blockhead says, JK's impression of Paddy was spot on, and says, I'll take the famous and I love the triple B gimmick. Haha. Stephen says General was one of the best experiences watching UFC fights on Saturday. Oh, thank you, Stephen, you legend. Stephen also says we have to take attitude into account here. So altitude, sorry, I thought it says attitude. Altitude here. So Salt Lake City is high. Every fighter gassed out on the last card. Justin trains at elevation. So that's a very interesting point there. Well said. Mark Short, welcome in, sir. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. He says this is going to be such a fun card. Poirier versus Gaethje, probably the best rematch in the UFC could make at the moment. 1,000%.
At the moment, yeah, agreed.
Even Blockhead agrees with the elevation factor that Stephen just mentioned.
Yeah. Like, this is one of the things that we'll probably take into consideration on some of the other fighters in the card as well. I think you should probably take it into consideration for one and all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, Gaethje already. If he doesn't already have that sort of cardio advantage in most of his matchups,
yeah, I think they both do.
He's gonna have it in this one. But then Dustin Poirier, he's got that power that is still there later on in the fight.
Yes,
too. Yeah, you know what I mean.
1,000%, mate. Yeah,
something to consider. Let's go for striking. Oh, this is harder than I thought.
Stop it.
My words. Who guys in the chat help us out on this one?
Is the thing.
Striking to.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying to you, and it's not like when Dustin Poirier fought Gaethje the first time, he knocked him out with one shot.
No.
He hurt him with a well-timed counter.
Yeah.
And it's obviously Gaethje's kicks are obviously a lot more effective, but then Poirier's hands are a lot more effective than Gaethje's. So then
tough. Okay. I think let's do this.
Stephen,
let's do this.
Mark Shorts, who are we going for striking?
Let's do this. We're doing this. This is happening.
We give them to both.
This is happening. This is happening.
To both, yeah.
I think that's so far what I can see the gauges to look like. We have either side, blue corner. They both, but then let's see if this is an easier question. Who do we take it from? So who should we deduct striking from? Who do we take grappling from? Who do we take power from? Because both these guys have it fundamentally.
I was about to say the only one that I can clearly kind of say is power, and I would give the power to Poirier.
Poirier, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he knocked him out. Let's have a look at what the numbers say on paper, because sometimes you gotta just use stuff to back you up. Okay. Looking at this, both these guys have almost the exact same average fight time, right?
Yeah, because they're just in wars, aren't they?
Yeah. Now get this. This is just so even. It's wild. Dustin Gaethje, right, has 79% of his wins come by TKO, knockout, and Dustin Poirier has 54%. Ooh. So we probably have to go with what it says on paper and give power to Justin Gaethje based on this. Knockdown averages almost exactly the same as well. How wild? 0.64% for 0.64, sorry, for Poirier, and 0.67 for Gaethje. So it's pretty much spot on when it comes to knockdown average. I do think when it comes to power, we just got to do with what
the math says.
What it
says.
The
science
Go with the numbers. Go with the numbers.
Go with the science.
I'll tell you what. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm just going to make a quick call to my analytics consultant.
What's that? Sadiq Youssef, yeah?
Hello, Sadiq.
Sadiq.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, look, we're stuck. Dustin Poirier versus Gaethje. Yeah, I know, right? What are we going to do? It's mad. It's mad. That's what I told him. Well, so here we go. I need some of your science, right? Give me something useful. Because
give me some of the science. Come on.
Given these guys, both on striking, both grappling, both power, well, we can probably edge Gaethje on that one. But, speed, cardio, where do we go?
You know what I mean? It's so both evenly matched. It's unreal. Stephen says, Dustin, cleaner striker. Justin, more powerful striking. Ooh. Justin has that Philly shell too.
Right, cheers.
Stephen says, Dustin beats Justin at cardio. Not sure about elevation, but Dustin doesn't gas too much. These guys are so similar in many ways.
Yeah.
Your favorite Blockhead podcast says, speaking just on the round longevity, that is tough to say. Dustin versus Dan was striking art. Chandler versus Gaethje proved Gaethje has a cider block chin.
Yeah. So that was Sadiq Youssef just there. And he basically said,
chin. Why did I say cider?
So, and what he said was basically, these guys are pretty much even, right? I was like, yeah, they're pretty much even. And he says, okay, so one guy won one fight, right? I was like, yeah, okay. Or then how do you make that even? You're going to share that one fight across? No. The other guy wins the other fight. That's 1-for-1. So
I'm thinking about it now. I think striking can go to Dustin. Yeah. Just because he does a lot more combos with his hands, and he does have kicks as well. But the only powerful weapon that Gaethje has is his kicks. Like Gaethje won't throw combos. He will just get hit and then throw back.
Yep. Yeah. Fair. And then take grappling. I guess it's even on both. Are we happy to do that?
I don't think probably like just because I've personally seen it. I've seen Dustin Poirier mix in his wrestling more than Gaethje, even though this is crazy. Like I said, Gaethje's got the wrestling background.
Yeah.
But if I'm seeing it in action, then I've got to go for it. And I'm seeing Dustin Poirier use it a little bit more, if you know what I mean. And obviously, we all saw Dustin Poirier submit Michael Chandler.
Yeah. Yeah. The numbers do favor Poirier a little bit more in the wrestling as well. He's got that submission. He's got the takedown average just by a little bit. It's not his way of getting the job done, but it does favor him a little. So, I mean, in that case, it will look like that. Mm-hmm. Now, basically, through process of elimination and based on what Sadiq Youssef said, you got the idea of, 1-for-1, even outcome. It could be Gaethje who gets this one, and you can see these guys continue to be pretty even going forwards. Or you could go with the gauges and say that the edge still relies with Poirier if you want to take it down. yeah, exactly. That's what he said. It's gonna be
we should have just done that. What Sadiq goes. So Justin Gaethje versus Poirier. Next fight.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Well, I'm stuck with this one. I'm stuck. But look, I think that's what the gauges got to, and that's taken some proper deliberation and some real good maths,
Yes.
So that's why we're there. But look, I do think it could go either way. For this one,
1,000%.
For this one, I do like Poirier for it. I might go Gaethje, but I haven't
I'm thinking of sticking with Poirier just because, he digs deep. I know Justin Gaethje does dig deep, but he's just like whenever Poirier's in the pocket, he's so relentless. And I think it was Stephen or your favorite Blockhead podcast said about when Poirier fought Dan Hooker, just in the pocket, like he can take they both can definitely 100% take a shot. Yeah. But when Poirier's in the pocket, he's just relentless, and his combos are.
Well, this is it. Poirier's, said it earlier, he's got that clean striking. He's great at range. He's great in the pocket. He's good in the mid range too. He's fantastic in those. But Gaethje's very much better in the pocket, and he's constantly trying to get there. But I think for Poirier, if he can get off his striking and then get out of dodge, that's how he should be taking his one. In the first fight, I was thinking Poirier standing there with him, trading in the pocket. Although he could get some exchanges, he eats some too. If he stepped backed out, he would have done damage, got out there, and not received damage. So it was very much tick for tack. They were phone booth fighting. They literally had 2 toes on a napkin, and that's what made it so exciting, But ultimately, I think for my advice for Poirier in this one, it's just don't be there to get hit. Feel free to step back and sort of enter into the pocket.
He's very good at when he resets, like you said. I think, like you said, when Poirier resets, gets back to his boxing range, and then
we could have seen more of it, in my opinion. But that's it.
Cray's in the house. Welcome in, Cray. Hope you're doing well, sir. I think they're both technical. Yes, the most even in all areas. 100%.
Yeah. That's how we said it's going to be a draw. Next fight.
Next fight. Let's get rid of this one.
That's Parker. No, look, generally it's going to be quite an interesting matchup. I cannot wait for that one, to be honest. I cannot wait. But look, we're in for a treat on the co-main as well. We've got Jan Błachowicz versus Alex Pereira, who's stepping into light heavyweight
if it didn't get any easier,
for the first time. I know, right? This is going to be quite an interesting matchup because Alex Pereira is going to be in his debut at light heavyweight. And of course, you got Błachowicz, who might also reel out the same strategy he had against the last middleweight who thought he could challenge his territory. So that might be an interesting one to get into. But let's look at the numbers. We've got 29, 9, and 1 for Jan Błachowicz, and then we have 7, 2, and 0 for Alex Pereira in the blue corner. Poland versus Brazil. We know the power that Pereira yields. We've seen that countless times against all of his opponents, not just the ones I like the most, but then also we've seen the Polish power that is almost bred and born in Błachowicz too. So this is going to be quite exciting to see how they sort of stand up against each other. Not a lot in it in terms of height and reach. It's going to be pretty much around the same. But my question for you, Ash, is does Błachowicz use the same strategy he wheeled out against Izzy? The last middleweight who stepped up into this division and just lay and pray, take him down. I say that, but there was some stand-up striking too.
Yeah,
but
no,
I think it really
you are right.
happened and wearing him down on the ground. So does he do that, or does he exchange with Pereira? Does he use his range?
Yeah. This is the thing as well. Like you said, like it's a crazy one.
Just bring the chat down. I know.
Oh, is it still on?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Craig's a cool guy.
I'm going to jump onto the quick chat and then I'll get into a favorite because says fans will be beyond the narrative more, in my opinion, if Gaethje wins 1-1 since Justin won the first fight, a chance for the best 2 out of 3 who truly can boost about the BMF when they could fight a third time. Very true.
Yeah.
Nolan's in the house. Welcome in, Nolan. Hope you're doing well, sir.
Yes, Nolan. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Craig as well. Love that.
Right, and I'll get rid of that chat. And so the good thing as well, which I really wanted to bring this at this point in. So Jan Błachowicz is a kind of stopper of stopping middleweights move up, because we've seen it in the past. Souza, he moved up.
Yeah.
And obviously Błachowicz, Jan Błachowicz beat him. Izzy moved up. He beat him.
Yeah.
Same with Luke Rockhold. He moved up. Jan Błachowicz beat him.
Interesting.
So this is a kind of fight where you think, and it's stylistically, it's a very good fight for Jan. Very good fight, because like you said, he's got the wrestling in the locker. We haven't seen too much of Alex Pereira's takedown defense. I know he took down Izzy, but again, obviously we all know how big Alex Pereira is. That wasn't done by takedown. Like it was just purely done on like his brute force, and the bigger guy. So stand-up wise, I still think that Jan still has a chance standing, just because he has. We also his leg kicks against Magomed and Kalaev.
Yeah,
his legs are made of stone. Like honestly, and Alex Pereira doesn't have the biggest legs, so he could chop his way to a victory, or like you said, he could take him down, and even get a finish on the mat. But yeah, I don't think that Jan's going to be afraid to stand with him. Yeah, but like you said, he's got that takedown in the locker if he needs it.
Yeah. He's only holding 1 loss in the UFC, and of course that's against Izzy Adesanya. Yeah. And I do think, of course, if you're talking about how he lost in the ways in which he had been defeated, it's the speed of Izzy. In every fight that he's had with Izzy, Izzy's really bested him in the striking.
Very fast.
He just got caught. And even in the second, when they fought for the first time in the UFC, he had him wobbled at the end of round 2. Like nearly had him out. If he has more seconds than that, it would have been a different narrative, a different outcome entirely. But it is what it is. And I think for someone like Izzy, like Jan, I just don't think he yields the power. No, sorry, not the power. The speed. He doesn't have that speed that Izzy has.
You're right. Yeah.
And for me, the power may be there, but I don't think he's got that compromise, that speed to touch Pereira in that same way.
What you mean.
Where else have we seen Pereira come up against a powerful striker? Be it, yes, a lower division, but I
don't really know. Like, obviously, we all gave the power to Alex Pereira, and obviously, look what Izzy done. So,
yeah. I mean,
who knows?
Pereira gets everything done by stoppage as well, and it's not to take any power away from Izzy. It's just how he gets things done, isn't it? Bruno Silva's quite a powerful guy.
True, because he's on take out Brad Tavares. Yeah. While you check that, I'm going to get into a couple of comments.
Yep, cool. I'll get the gauges up and ready.
Stephen, on my opinion, this fight will be one-sided. Pereira will either outstrike Jan or Jan will out-wrestle him. 1,000%. You're spot on with that, mate.
Yeah.
Nolan Zebra says, I've got Dustin, Jan in top 2 fights. And TMM, welcome in, sir. Hope you're doing well. This fight is very hard to predict because both men have such bad defense when on the offense that either of them could get chinned with one bad move.
This is it. But it took speed to catch Pereira. He's relatively he's defensively responsible in that mid range or at range. But it's just when he gets in the pocket and he's now focused on his offense and putting that power on.
Yeah, like
that's when you got to
Izzy.
catch him. That's when you have to catch him twice as well. Izzy caught him the first time too.
Yes.
Nearly had him out, but the round ended, and he was wobbled in the corner and came back from it.
True.
So
obviously Jan's got that one punch knockout power. So if Alex does get caught, but then again the shoe's on the other foot, so could Alex. Alex could catch him with that left hook. That left hook of death.
Here's a crazy irony with Pereira, though, right? It's just like he's most vulnerable when he's most dangerous. You know,
Yes.
It's when he's most dangerous. That's when his weakness is exposed. So you kind of got to like step into the fire if you want to put it out. So whether can Yan hold up in that? Can he find Pereira's chin when the heats really turn up?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the gauges then. Striking.
Yes,
I guess we'll go Pereira with that.
Yeah, we've got to go Alex Pereira in that one.
Grappling, we'll have to go Jan
Jan in that one, yep.
And then with power,
it's a tough one because we've seen it more because obviously I know Alex Pereira done it in kickboxing, but obviously if we're talking on paper and what we've naturally seen, we've seen Jan knock out dudes.
Yeah.
And Luke Rockhold starched him.
True.
Trying to think of the guy now.
I could just give it to both of them and then we can sleep easy tonight. Do you know what I mean?
Have a little thing. I'm just going to read a couple of comments quick. Favorable podcast. Very true. Range may be a serious demeanor factor.
Yeah. Determining factor. Yeah.
Determining factor. Sorry. That is very true because obviously Alex Pereira, he's in and out, isn't he? So
he is not too much in terms of the reach advantage, only an inch in it. But Pereira will be the taller fighter by about 2 inches too.
Yes.
But yeah,
sorry, I've got rid of that comment by accident. Yeah. So Yaski.
Yaski. Hey, look, quality.
Welcome in, sir.
Great to have you.
Hope you're doing well. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. Welcome in. I didn't mean to get that comment down a minute ago. I do apologize. TMM, another factor to consider with Jan's leg kicks. Alex was checking almost every leg kick a quick guy like Izzy threw. A slower Jan won't be catching him off guard with those. And that is an absolute gem of a comment because I mentioned a minute ago about how good Jan's leg kicks were.
They were. You've
countered my argument perfectly by saying, obviously, and I totally forgot about the checking of the leg kicks of what Alex Pereira did to Izzy, and that was the beginning and of the end in their first fight.
Yeah.
Because you checked the leg kick, Izzy went flying back, and then that was it. He smelled blood, and then he went in.
He went in there for the finish. Absolutely. So I mean, that leaves us down to speed, in which I'm confident will be with Pereira.
Yes, Alex Pereira. Yeah.
And then cardio, I might go Jan with it just because.
I'm going to go Jan because he's been in 5 rounds before. And I think Jan.
And I guess both these guys have now three in the red corner, 3 in the blue corner. But if I was to change anything at this point, it will probably be the power siding with Jan because he's at his natural weight class.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That is true.
And we don't have enough evidence to determine how Alex Pereira's
we could do that because obviously he's at 1,000% because he's at his natural weight class. And you're right, we know Alex does have power, but that's at middleweight. Obviously, we know he's a big guy anyway, and probably it will transcend up.
Yeah.
But We've no science to prove that, have we, Mr. Brown?
We don't have any. Hold on, let me give Sadiq another call and see. No.
You give him a ring and I'll get.
He's tired of me now. He's tired. He hung up. He didn't even pick up the phone. He's tired of me dialing through.
He's blocked my number now. Oh.
Yeah.
TMMO says that being said, Jan was still hurting Magomed with the calf kicks, even when. But this is what I'm saying. His legs are made of absolute stone.
Do you see how he it's mad. Magomed could not stand. He didn't have a leg to stand on, did he?
Your favorite blockhead says we have more proven power with the UFC with Jan, 1,000%.
Yep.
I'd give power to Jan, says Stephen.
Yep.
Craig says also have to take the guys Jan has KO'd and weight difference of the guys, 1,000%. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, as I said a minute ago, Luke Rockhold obviously moving up. Obviously, that was one.
Yep.
From middleweight, I agree with those stats. Oh, thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, appreciate it. I think this is probably
where proven with HR.
Yeah, exactly.
Did a good job.
Happy days. Whew, I was thinking I'm going to be in for a spar.
I don't want to go sparring again, mate.
No. Look, this is quality. I think I'm happy with that. We'll go to the next fight in the card. But I think on the night I will go Błachowicz, just because he's got a history of stopping people who step into the division from.
Yeah, and this is why, like I said, this is why I mentioned it. A couple of guys that wanted to move up, he stopped them in their tracks because obviously Luke Rockhold, obviously former middleweight champion, he was a very big middleweight. Yeah, and then moving up kind of seemed perfect to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously not when you're fighting Jan Błachowicz.
Exactly. I kind of like him using his wrestling in this one in order to get the job done.
He's got it in the locker. Yeah. Who knows?
Exactly. But yeah, let's go back to the next fight on the card. You guys are in for another treat because we got days. We got this for days. We have treats.
It's another great fight.
Bangers for forever. Stephen Thompson, Wonder Boy Thompson against Michael Pereira. Now here's
Michel Pereira.
Yeah, Michel. Here's the numbers: 17, 6, and 1 in the red corner, and then you got 28, 11, 0, and 2 no contests as well for Pereira in the blue corner. Now we've got states against Brazil, and heights, reach, not a lot in it again. We're not talking about, usually they're quite good numbers to go off if you want to sort of determine who's going to have the advantage in striking and who's going to be keeping that range and such forth. But ultimately, this is going to be quite a decent scrap. Both of these guys are quite elusive on the feet. They stand fairly long. They have that kind of in-out, rangy sort of striking, athletic approach to their stand-up. They do love to stand up as well. There'll be some wrestling, I guess, on Pereira's side, but predominantly these guys are stand-up strikers, fast as well. So, don't blink. What's your thoughts on this then, Ash, in terms of who do you think is going to come into this one with the biggest?
Yeah. So to put it bluntly, I'm actually going with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson said. I saw it on, I can't remember what episode it was now. Like, he said it perfectly. He says that obviously Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is a kickboxer, and then you look at Michel Pereira. He's kind of a kickboxer, but with capoeira. Yeah. And he's more elusive on a little bit more elusive on the feet than Wonderboy. Wonderboy's more traditional. And
he's got a very unique style. But
exactly. And then Pereira's more wild and elusive. So again, it's going to be an absolute barn burner of an exciting fight, because they're both going to, like you said, I think it may stay standing, but Pereira does have an explosive takedown in the locker if need be. But I'm hoping they keep it standing, because it's going to be a great chess match.
Yeah, look, 100%. If anyone's going to have the takedown advantage, you're right. Yeah, it looks like Pereira there. I think that's probably where the biggest discrepancy is going to be looking like in this matchup. In the stand-up, it's pretty much even odds all the way down. Yeah. If we looked at the overall odds for a fight like this, Wonderboy Thompson is a favorite by minus 165, and the money line on Pereira is plus 40. So, do you reckon that's realistic? Do you think that the odds
Yes, I think so, yeah, because obviously Wonderboy's been there and done it, hasn't he? So, and obviously he's above him in the rankings. And
yeah, look, fair enough. Yeah. And I feel like where Pereira's going to struggle the most, it's going to be in finding and landing on Thompson. He's going to be in and out, quite difficult to catch and find.
I think they may find it hard to land on each other, to be fair, mate. Like, just because of how quick and elusive Michel Pereira is. But yeah, it's this one's going to be another one for when we get into the gauges. It's going to be a few things on the gauge are going to be hard to pick.
Look, I'm completely on board with that. I nearly said 100%. No, but
take it off, mate.
Yeah, take it off. No, but yeah, here's the thing, right? I think in watching the tape on this, right, Pereira, he's a dog, Again, another BMF in a sense. Like, some of the fights he's had are some of the most exciting ones you're going to see in the cage. And the thing is, he gets fatigued as the fights go long.
He does.
He starts knackering, but as he does so, he gets more hittable. And I think that's where Stephen Thompson's going to start finding the biggest striking disparity. That's where he's going to start coming into his own. Because you saw when Kevin Holland got knackered in that fight against Wonderboy in Holland, he literally just expanded his striking arsenal, got really creative because he got in the flow. And so my simple take on this one, if I was to give it a nutshell, and we'll get into the gauges, and then you could do the chats. But for me, my take on it is you got someone like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson who gets better as the fight goes along. He just gets a bit more into his groove. And you got someone like Michel Pereira who kind of fatigues, his power goes, and he becomes more hittable. So I think that if this is going to be won or lost, it will be in the later rounds for Thompson. But Pereira is he's wild, and with wildness,
and that's what I'm kind of hoping. Like you said it there perfectly. I think hopefully Pereira, obviously, because he's fighting Wonderboy, and because we all know how prestigious Wonderboy Thompson's striking is, I'm hoping he kind of comes into it like Kevin Holland did, because Kevin Holland wanted to stand and strike with Wonderboy and to see who the better striker was. I'm kind of hoping Pereira does that. And like you said, going into the later rounds, if it does make it there, then Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he doesn't miss, if you know what I mean. His strikes are there to hit.
This is it.
And they will always land, and he's just so good. So I'm hoping, like you said there, Bro comes all guns out blazing because he's fighting Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and all of exciting movement and capoeira and stuff. Man. Hopefully he tires. But
I got to tell you, man, we're in for a treat. Do you want to do some chats quick, and then we'll go through the gauges in this one? Just a quick one.
I think more of a disgusting, more a sway to pick for Jan. That was from Stephen, and now he's on about this fight. This fight is going to be an artful striking masterclass, says Stephen. And Dealer Will Cray says, I think this will be a striking showcase. Endless clips of spins and similar to Izzy versus Silva. Yeah. Thompson with the W though. Indeed. Yeah, so
okay.
Your favorite blockhead says, I love Wonderboy, but I'm taking Michel Pereira to outstrike him, mostly based on accuracy. If anyone was going to be accurate for me, it would be Wonderboy, but this is a fight game. Who knows? Yeah. Stephen says, Wonderboy. Wonderboy is a sniper. He doesn't waste his shots. Nolan Zebra said, I've scrolled all the way down now. Nolan Zebra says, I'm looking forward to this fight. Wonderboy's always worth watching. Yes. 100%, mate.
And Pereira is a
to be fair, they are both exciting to watch. Yeah, you're right. Blockhead says, but trust me, my feelings will not be hurt if Wonderboy wins. 1,000%.
Do you know what I mean?
I think we're the same in there.
Is a fight card where I think the fans are the biggest winners. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not losers.
Yeah, you know exactly. Who wins?
We're the winners.
We do.
Blockhead says, controversial take. Depending on the judges, they may give Pereira more significant leg strikes and Wonderboy gets robbed. Hey.
Mystic Meg here is looking right into the future. Detail on that one.
You can't get through a pay-per-view these days without one screw up by the judges. To be fair, mate, you are correct.
You really can't. I mean, there should be betting odds on that. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, there should be actually. Yeah, purely hypothetical. I pray this one goes the distance and delivers. And that's the thing. I don't think like Sai said perfectly. I don't think because I think Wonderboy can take a shot, and I think I've not seen as of recent Pereira one punch or sort of starch anyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back on his. I don't think his. As of I know, to be fair,
but
Danny
we did see him look really good in later rounds against Holland.
Did, and that was all the way back then. So
yeah. Look, we can go on the data, but I think
not a KO in a couple of years. So
yeah. So striking.
Oh, stop it.
Let's see. Get some numbers.
I've got to go Wonderboy, but that's just my opinion. But then
the
science of things. Yeah, I've got to go Wonderboy.
Yeah, his striking is very good, but if you want to look at landed per minute, it will be Pereira who lands more per minute. If we go on paper, it edges towards Pereira, you know. If we go on paper,
it may do. It may do. Yeah, on the science, I just said in my opinion, but
I
should be going for my opinion. I should be going for the science.
It's hard though. How can you go against Wonderboy when it comes to striking?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying, mate. It's one of them where
I'm doing that for now, guys in the chat. Let us know who we should give it to.
Another good factor that we keep forgetting, mate, just quickly, I've got to put it in there. Stephen brings up the old altitude factor again with Michel Pereira's gas tank.
Hey, look.
There we go. Wonderboy all day long now.
Yeah.
House on it, boys.
We've got cardio for Wonderboy already. Pop that in. Power. Who gets power? Let's get the numbers up. So wins by knockout is Wonderboy 47%.
Yeah, but he's probably got more kick KOs if you get what I mean.
Yeah, but he's still going for power, and he got to look
obviously that Superman punch. He lost by Anthony.
He also has more decisions than Pereira.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I mean, fight time averaging around 13, 14 minutes. You know, it's not much.
Have to go Pereira, but then again,
for power,
like I said, Pereira's only starched one person.
What does it look like knockouts wise?
Yeah, knockout wise, flying knee against Danny Roberts, and that was his only KO in the UFC.
I guess we're gonna have to go Wonderboy then, just based on numbers.
Wonderboy, because obviously TKO'd. Really he was cracking Kevin Holland as well. It wasn't just tippy tappy shots; he was cracking.
I think with Thompson, a lot of his power comes from technique. Bear in mind, it's the way he darts into range.
Yes, when he darts in,
is added to the impact of his punch. So, it's very much in technique, not necessarily in like raw stock muscle. You know what I mean?
I love the way you use that. That was class.
Yeah, he is of good stock, as you and I.
Beef stock.
All right, speed though.
Wonderboy. I'm saying Wonderboy, but Pereira's quick as well.
He's fast.
The only reason I say Wonderboy is because you just reminded me of when he darts in and out. And
he covers more distance.
He's so good at it, and obviously because I've seen this for so many years, but just the way he darts in and is out, it's just it's a joy to watch.
Yeah, it's so true. I could probably live with that. Both get speed, both get striking, and then it's for Wonderboy still, and it's free for Pereira.
I think that's fair, to be fair, as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, if it was to edge either way with that, you could go either way with speed, but I guess you could end up with Wonderboy and take it from Pereira, based on the fact he's going to be going at speed for longer, and he does cover larger distances. And then with striking, I guess you could give it to Pereira Pereira, because he throws more strikes. You know, he's got more quantity in it. Not necessarily in terms of tools. I think Thompson's got the more polished tools.
Yes, you know? Agreed.
So I think that's kind of how we're looking at it. But both of these guys are good in both areas. So bear that in mind and judge responsibly.
Obviously, we give the grappling to Pereira,
yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Well, that's it for me. Any other points there?
No, just while you're changing it up, I think that's fair. While you're changing it up, I'm just going to get a couple of comments. Wonderboy striking for me, says Stephen. Blockhead says that altitude could derail my far-fetched theory. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Brilliant.
This is what I'm saying. I keep forgetting about it, and you just mentioned it a minute ago, Stephen.
Yeah.
However much I love this card, the UFC should stop putting cards at this elevation. 100%. I feel like we will. I feel like we won't see the fighters at their 100% best due to the elevation. Yeah, which is, we keep bringing it up, which is very true. You just don't know, do you? TMM, I know on paper Pereira's striking seems more effective, but I can't act like they've both been fighting the same competition. Thompson, when he's not being crotch sniffed, is something else. And mate, you've come up with some superb comments already.
Yeah.
And that is another one. And 1,000%, obviously, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's a joy to watch, and it's just unfortunate that he's had to, in recent fight, the likes of obviously like the Bella Mohammeds and the Gilbert Burnses. But yeah.
Yeah, this is it. He's Steve. Look, it's got some good points in it. You're not far wrong. He's exciting, and do you know what? When it's like you got an absolute talented striker here, when you put him up against a wrestler, we're the losers. You know what I mean? We are the losers in that matchup because we just got to see someone's like talent get snuffed out. So, you do really want to have matchups like this far more from someone like Thompson. Great guy as well.
A couple more comments and then we can move on. Stephen said, Stephen, I love the way you've done that there because I read Stephen and then you've put Thompson. Well, hey, Stephen Thompson. We'll have to, so Stephen, you've got the speed advantage, mate. Stephen Thompson will have the speed advantage in cardio. I love the way you've done that.
Yeah.
Speed goes when cardio goes. Well,
yeah, true. Yeah, and I've seen Pereira slow down. Power gets diminished.
100%.
Later rounds too, and this altitude is going to be a common theme for this card. Something to not forget.
Blockhead says, fair enough, TMM. My far-fetched logic for this one is more based on paper and low expectations for the judges. TMM says, like Pereira's going to close decisions with Pons and beating Fiallo by decision, who is now on a free fight skid by TKO. Nico Price, who's been KO'd out of his last two, just saying. And again,
in terms of the level of competition he's talking about, isn't
exactly,
he?
Exactly, yeah. Because obviously, Nico Price has been knocked out twice, like you said.
Yeah.
And then Fiallo.
Is no slouch.
No, he's not. But yeah, that's true. Because again, the who's Ponzinibbio's fought before he fought Pereira as well.
Yeah.
When did he fight Pereira? We fought him last. Okay.
Yeah, his last fight was with Pereira. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look then at next fight on the card. This is the second fight in, and we're looking at Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. Ooh. Now let's have a quick look here. Bobby Green is in the blue corner, 29-14-1-1 no contest, and Tony Ferguson is 26-8. I feel like he was very good as of late until he wasn't. So a lot of that loss streak has been compiled in his very much most recent days. But look, if we want to look at level of competition once again and go back to that argument, it's not been a walk in the park who's been up against. Now we've got the reach advantage, which is worth mentioning in this particular matchup because it's going to be 5.5 inches for Tony Ferguson on top of Bobby Green. Yeah, 76.5 against Bobby Green's 71. Now,
wow.
Yeah. Now, who's going to be fighting at range is going to be my question. Who's going to be wanting to utilize that?
Yeah, so it's kind of perfect. perfect fight for either of them.
I agree. Perfect.
Tony
for
Ferguson, obviously, because the first round that Tony had against Chandler, I dropped him.
Yep.
So, and then obviously we all know Bobby Green likes to stand and bang. So again, this one's another tough one.
Yeah. My take on this one was Bobby Green is this exciting fighter as well. I feel like he's like embodying someone else is just a bit more than what he is at yet. So I see him try. He's almost fighting like he's Max Holloway, and he's like, you're not quite there yet. But
yes, I get what you mean.
He gets comfortable. He gets real comfortable in his striking, starts throwing, gets really loose, which I love to see. But then what comes with that comfortability is his complacency. And we saw it against Drew Dober. He knew not to be backed up against the fence. And he did such a great job of getting away from it, to be fair, up until the point. But he got a little bit too carried away in his striking. He thought and then Drew Dober sort of cocked him against the fence. And that is very much more of a mistake by Bobby Green rather than superior athletic outworking from Drew Dober. Take enough away from Drew Dober. He did all the right things. But Bobby Green made the mistake, and that was his loss. He took the L because of his mistake. And look, I think Tony Ferguson is a kind of fighter that can pick up on people's mistakes. His level of competition as of late, he hasn't been offered many mistakes at all.
It's true.
He's a bit wild and quite a freestyle fighter. So I do believe that if he stays disciplined and puts it on Bobby Green, he could probably catch him slipping.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
But look, that's a couple of takes there. But in terms of how this fight's going to take place, on the feet, or do you reckon it's going to hit the ground?
I think it'll be on the feet. Yeah. I think if anyone's going to initiate a takedown, I think it will be Tony.
Agreed.
Just to mix it in, because he does it.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think with a fight card as it is, he's got that kind of chip on his shoulder to want to stand and bang for the fans.
I think it's a fight he can come back and win. I think it's a winnable fight for Tony. Yeah. Winnable fight.
Question for you is, would there be any other fight you would have potentially put up for his comeback win? Do you know what I mean? Would you have thought of anyone else that could be suitable, if not Bobby Green, if he wasn't on the table?
Very good question. To be fair, he could have even fought Drew Dober, but I think that could have been a bad matchup. Actually, think about it.
He's very kind of Michael Chandler-y, isn't he?
I can't think of any lightweights, not in the rankings off the top of my head, but I still think it's a good fight for him. It's a very good fight for him.
Yeah,
stylistically, anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is one of the good ones he could be going up against.
Exactly.
And he does need a bit of a name as well. Win. Is Clay Guida still around?
Yes, that's
the name, is he? But but yeah, I mean, I could kind of see that one being quite exciting. But
that'd be a good one.
But he's also got to do it against some kind of somewhat level of competition, and you do have the fact that Bobby Green did fight the champ. Was it last time?
Yes, that is very true. Yeah,
so that's kind of given some prestige to him as well, just by even losing to such a name as Islam Makhachev. All right, well that takes us into the gauges.
All right, quick little comments.
Some of the comments saying.
Blockhead says Ferguson just did an interview saying he is in his prime following his losing streak. I love El Kukui and his confidence, but ...
Yo, yeah.
I'm in my prime, but I've lost 7 in a row.
Yeah, that's kind of.
It's true. You can't knock his confidence, because it's crazy that he still sells, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Even though he's lost, what is it, 6 in a row now? 5 in a row? Is it 5? Let's count. Oops. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5 in a row. Whoa.
Yeah, wild.
Some UFC fighters, I know obviously the prestige of Tony Ferguson, fighters get cut for less.
Yeah.
From Stephen. He says, I feel like it's a sin to talk a sin. It's a sin to talk bad against Ferguson, but 5-fight losing streak, and Bobby Green is still going sharp. Stats are irrelevant, as this is not the same Ferguson from the old days.
Historically.
Yeah. Yes, it's very true. It's very true, because he still talks to talk. He never walks to walk anymore, does he?
He's dyed his hair, isn't he? That's true.
I love that. Agree. Stephen said, Blockhead. Stephen, this is why I don't hold much weight to stats. Stats cover someone's entire career rather than their most recent fights.
Yeah.
1,000%, mate. Breezy, welcome in, Breezy. Hope you're doing well, sir.
Breezy?
Drop a like on the video. Sorry, I'm well late, but morning anyway, I guess.
Good to see you, Geese. Always morning for him.
That's how are we? We're doing fantastic. Last comment.
solid.
TMM best I can give as the resistant matchmaking in Guida, Miller, Green. Obviously, Michael Johnson, Joe Lozon, Paddy Pimblett. Only joking.
resident matchmaker. Yeah, look, there's some names in there, and you kind of want some legacy fights for a legend like Tony Ferguson as well, don't you? You do want to have another legendary match up against. So, look, you can think of a few, but this is going to be as good as any. Bobby Green on the other side of him, and ultimately talking about, I kind of paint a bit of a picture at the front end, right, in terms of how Bobby Green does kind of get complacent, make mistakes.
Yeah,
I think that's probably where Tony Ferguson's going to have to capitalize it.
Yeah, 100%.
Who would you give striking to?
It's one of them where if this was like TMM and Blockhead podcast saying about the Tony Ferguson of old, if this was the Tony Ferguson, if he wasn't on a 5-loss streak, then I'll kind of give striking to Ferguson. But we've seen it as a recent with Bobby Green, haven't we? He was even catching Drew Dober, but we all know how good Dober's chin is.
Yeah. Just kept pushing on him.
He was doing well against Jared Gordon as well. Obviously knocked out at Quinta. Did well against Nasbat Hasparat.
Getting grappling in there.
Oh, might have to go Bobby Green,
On striking. He's fast.
But then again, Ferguson mixes in everything though, doesn't he? Elbows, kicks, knees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to sub as Ferguson just because he mixes in all parts of the mixed martial arts game.
This is very true. Very true. Power. Who gets power?
Bobby Green can get power.
Yeah. Speed. I'll probably go Green on that one.
Ooh, Green as well, yeah.
I'll probably go Green. Cardio.
Ferguson all day long.
He's a bogeyman. As in, he does not stop. He's going to keep coming at you. Guys in the chats, do we agree with how that looks? Let us know if you go elsewhere and anywhere else in it. But look, I think this probably could make sense. I mean, striking's going to be tough to divide between the two.
Yeah.
Speed, El Cucuy's got some, but Bobby Green is just the way that he throws his untelegraphed strikes. Yeah. It's like flash and then bam, he's found a target. He throws it from low by the hip, so you can't really see where they're coming from, and that's just kind of adds to how fast it just kind of seems like they're just
I get you
rapid. But yeah, ultimately I'll go with that. I'll go with that. And would you also choose Tony Ferguson on the night, do you think? Or do you think there's a bit of an X factor? There's something else that Bobby Green can bring here that we haven't been able to quantify here on the gauges?
That's the thing as well. We talk about X factor all the time. It's a very good factor. But can we talk about not having the X factor? Because Tony Ferguson may not have it anymore. And that's the thing. We just don't know.
If Ferguson was to have that X factor, that's something unknown, uncategorized factor that gives him an edge in most of his fights.
Who's who though?
It's the grit.
His losses. Sorry,
yeah, it's true. All I'm saying is for Ferguson, I think that factor is like the grit. It's that kind of bogeyman facade he's been given because he's just going to keep coming forwards, and that's kind of how Drew Dober did it against Bobby Green. He was getting touched. He was getting touched throughout, but he kept coming forwards and trying to and hunting his prey, head hunting, mind you.
That's true.
So look, I feel like is the grit of Ferguson either going to get him to trouble like it has many times in the past? Yeah, he's just got caught because he's just been running into things.
Good point, actually, Si.
Or is it going to break down Bobby Green? As Drew Dober, as we saw, determined.
Yeah,
because Bobby Green was in that fight until he wasn't.
Very good point, mate.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at Tony Ferguson's losses. He's not like he's lost to no names or no one. He's lost to Justin Gaethje, lost to Charles Oliveira, lost to your boy Beneil Dariush, lost to Michael Chandler, then lost to Nate Diaz.
So I think the question we should ask ourselves is, do we see Bobby Green as becoming one of a kind such name? Is there a path before him that's going to... let's say he beats El Cucuy. Now he's that's the gatekeeper to being up there, apparently, looking at it. So
that's the thing. It could be his last fight. If Tony loses this, he's got to be done. Got to be done because he's not losing to a ranked guy anymore. Well, I know. Obviously, Nate Diaz ain't a ranked guy, but Nate Diaz is Nate Diaz, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, look, I think on this one, personally, myself, I'm gonna go with El Cucuy just out of respect.
Yes,
and
same.
Even should he lose, I'd happily pick him because he's done so much for the sport. And it's just, I think I'll just go mad if he wins. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, I think everyone will love it if he wins, just because people still back him.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's fought some top names that he's lost to, and obviously I think that's why he's still around, because the names that he's lost to, like coming out, Charles Oliveira, Brunel Dariush, Justin Gaethje. Anyway, you get the next fights up. I get some chats. Breezy says, yeah, that's a fair evaluation. Hope to see a good Tony that doesn't get a limb snapped this time. 1,000%, mate. Let's hope so. I hope to see you there to watch along, Mr. Breezy. Stephen says it's difficult to predict this, as I have to take into account this new Ferguson. And exactly, this is what I'm saying. Like, we all back Ferguson.
You say new. He's been of the same kind for the last few years now, as he's just been going through tough fight after tough fight after tough fight. Although he has talked about working on a few things as of late, though, hasn't he? So
yes,
we're still really yet to see what that is, because he's supposed to really have some new tools in his last time out.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't quite get to see it.
Yes. TM, I'll get this comment quick because he's going. So TMM, I'm out now, lads. But wish everyone a good evening. Hope you're doing. Hope you have a great evening. Sorry.
You too, TMM.
Thank you for chiming in.
Thanks for chiming in. It's great to have your opinions. Great opinions as well.
Yes, very good comments.
Yeah. For one last time.
Enjoyed listening to your comments. Great. He says, still backing Tony for the one last time. One last ride.
Exactly.
One last ride, Tony.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? I'll get behind that just because it's Tony.
Right, last two. Tony, endurance could win him this fight. Green is good, but realistically, he's not beat anyone that good. He's just taken all the fights, which is very true. That's very true, Breezy. If he won the belt in the next 5, would be MMA's best comeback. Is that for Tony? Do you mean?
Yep. Yeah. If he won, that would be. I mean, I think you could argue that Charles Oliveira was some kind of best comeback, because he had a huge streak of losses before he got to where he is. That was beautiful today. What does he say? As HR, Ash has been replaced by. Oh, look, HR just making. Hold on.
He's cut me off. He's cut me off. Oh, Stephen. He's cut me off. Stephen.
Oh, what was going on?
Bring me back. Bring me back, Stephen.
Let's pull the power.
Oh, cheers, Stephen. Cheers. You brought me back. Last one from Breezy. It is a 3 a.m. kickoff. If so, I'll bite the bullet and do some housework Saturdays for brownie points and see what happens. Mate, you've got to be there, mate.
Take one for the team, man. You have to be there. It is a 3 a.m. kickoff. Yes, that's when we're going to be starting it. And you really don't want to miss a fight on that card. You really don't.
Come on, mate. We miss you over at ATF, mate. Come on.
Yeah, we do. All right.
Last fight.
First fight on the card. First fight. Everyone look at it. It is the one that kicks off what we are calling an absolute barn burner of a card for this month, this year. This is quality. Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Holland. Now, it's going to be in the red corner 18-6-0, and in the blue corner 24-9-0. One no contest as well. Biggest advantages is going to be for Kevin Holland. We're looking at a reach. He's got a quite an impressive, actually, 5.5. Is that what we're looking at there? 6.5. Look, reach advantage. Wow. Like it's something. It is something. And so it's probably going to be a sort of standing at range option for Kevin Holland, especially when you're looking at how dangerous Michael Chiesa's wrestling is. You know, it's going to be that kind of wrestler versus striker in this one, I believe. And that's how Kevin's going to want to get it done, standing up. And I think Michael Chiesa would want to get it down. So,
that is very true.
Question for you, Ash, is who is this a good fight for? Is this a good fight for Kevin, or is it a good fight for Michael?
This is the thing as well, because the one thing I want to sort of get into when we get the gauges up is the grappling, but I won't dive into it too much. But Kevin Holland obviously wants to keep it standing, like you said, and Michael Chiesa wants to take it to the mat. And I think if Chiesa can take it to the mat and keep a hold of Kevin Holland, it's going to be a long night for Kevin Holland. Indeed. Even though Kevin Holland does have that black belt in jiu-jitsu, I still think when it comes to advancing position and getting his way around the fighter, Chiesa is just relentless, and he's very long on the mat as well. I know Kevin Holland's obviously got the reach advantage. He's very tall. Yeah, I just think he's so good at trying to wrap you up and trying to work for that submission. But again, Kevin Holland does have good jiu-jitsu in himself.
Yeah, look, this is very true. And I think when you're looking at jiu-jitsu here, you're comparing that with wrestling. And the wrestling of Chiesa is what's going to be nullifying for Holland. And he's going to want to do it. He's going to want to tie up those weapons, because if Holland gets free range and his weapon's free with those hands, you better believe that Chiesa is going to get picked off. So how do you get closer on a tall, targeted guy like that? And how do you sort of tie up those weapons? It's going to be a big problem that Michael has to sort of think about.
Yes,
I would say it's a good fight for. The thing with Holland is like he's good against strikers too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's a bad fight for Holland, in my opinion.
Yes, because obviously he's moved down to welterweight because he was getting bullied by the wrestlers at middleweight, because everyone found him out. Everyone just took him down, and either got the TKO or submitted him. And I know Kevin Holland, which is fair play to him, he's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but when it comes to the wrestling factor, like we were saying, Chiesa is the best at doing it. Once he gets a hold of you, that's it. And I think if he gets a hold of Kevin Holland, I think it could be a long night for Kevin Holland.
Yeah. And look at the odds in this one as well. -145 for Kevin Holland and +125 for Michael Chiesa. Now, do you think that's retrospective of what can happen here? Do you think that Kevin Holland is the favorite? Because I guess if Chiesa gets a takedown, those stats are going to switch like it's a light on the wall. So you know what I mean? I think I think it should be a little bit more even than that, because it can go standing, Holland's fight, on the ground, Chiesa's fight. And to tell you the honest truth, we've seen how Holland has struggled against wrestlers, like you mentioned in the past. Yeah, I think it's crazy to be so confident, bold as to say the odds are. I mean, they're not drastic, but are sitting this way. I think it should be a little bit more even.
I do think that Kevin Holland may stuff 1 or 2 takedowns, just because obviously he's down there at welterweight now, not middleweight.
Yeah.
But I just think there's only a certain amount of takedowns someone can defend before actually getting taken down. And Chiesa's relentless with it, and I think he will get him down. But we've all seen Chiesa's not got the best stand-up. And I think we go back to the Neil Magny fight. Yeah. Neil Magny was piecing Chiesa up on the feet.
Yeah.
Or was it the other way around? It wasn't the other way around, was it? No, it was...
That Neil Magny Chiesa fight actually really frustrated me. Because where Neil Magny should have been fighting at range, he started getting really close to Chiesa. And I was like...
that's it. Yeah, so it was Neil Magny that was hurting. Yeah, it was Neil Magny, the one that was hurting Chiesa, because we wanted him to keep it standing. And he was grappling when he shouldn't have grappled, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I was like, what are you doing? I was, my God, all over that. Yeah. But yeah, look, I just flicked up some of the numbers, and I think it's very representative of what we've been saying. Yeah. Ground, Chiesa. Stand and bang, Holland.
Yes.
So there might not be much more color we can put on that. But if we've got the gauges up to really look at where the advantage is going to lie between all of them, we can confidently say striking is Holland. Grappling, we can confidently put down for Chiesa. But then we've got things like power. And for Holland, is it still there? For Chiesa, let's have a look at all the wins by...
When was the last? We've got to take into consideration as well, mate, that when was the last time Chiesa was in there? 2021. He lost to Sean Brady.
I don't think he's knocked in on out Chiesa before.
No, I don't think he has got. I think he's just got like 16 submissions or 12. He's just got 11 submissions, no KOs.
Yeah, well then that means power does lie with Kevin Holland, but we do have to sort of bear in mind that you can be physically strong. You can be physically strong also.
This is the thing. He has got some decent wins on his resume. So obviously he's beaten the former lightweight champion in Rafael dos Santos. He's beaten Benil Dariush, beaten Jim Miller. He has got some good wins. He's obviously coming off 2 losses now. Sean Brady again. That was just. I think that in that fight, Chiesa should have kept it standing, because he was hurting Brady on the feet, because Brady was just so tired, and Chiesa was really hurting Brady on the feet.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right, you get the gauges up. I'll get to a couple of comments. Breezy says, Chiesa takes him down and smokes him. As long as we can hear Kevin Holland, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think you should mic up and turn the boom up.
Yeah, definitely. 100%, mate. In MMA, he's the one black belt I don't see as a black belt at all. Absolutely cheeks on the ground. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. This is exactly why I had to mention it, because it's there. He's in black and white on paper that he does have a black belt.
But use
it, if you know what I mean. Like, it's crazy to think that he has a black belt, but then obviously I know he was a weight class that probably there was bigger fighters that obviously could take him down and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was just no submission attempts when he's on the mat. It was just once he was on the mat, that's it.
Also, bear in mind, bear in mind, of course, that don't get mistaken by wrestling and bruising in jiu-jitsu, right? It's, wrestling is also his wrestling is really bad. His wrestling is really bad, and that's what we've been lacking from him. He's not been able to sort of wrestle his way to the top position to be effective with his jiu-jitsu, or he's not able to spin a scramble. So yeah, look, whilst it's a bit of both, but really it's at wrestling where that that dominance on the ground is seen first, and jiu-jitsu is where the submission is sort of met as well. So that's when the rubber meets the road there too.
100% right.
What else we got?
Right, last couple. Blockhead says, have to agree with Breezy. Sometimes the quieter guy is the one you have to worry about. I'm taking Chiesa. Steven says, Chiesa has excellent offense grappling, but poor defense grappling. You could be, you're right now. I'll never forget that for Sensei Luke when he finished Chiesa. That our reaction for that is golden.
That was like, wow.
That was one of the best ones, wasn't it?
Can't believe that. That could happen again. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Striker versus grappler.
That's what I mean.
And
It could just
striker
just
submits
a split
grappler.
second of him trying to advance position, leaving a neck or leaving an arm. You just don't know.
He was just trying to get up. Chiesa was trying to get up, and then bam, Luke sort of wrapped something around him that he didn't think was coming. Very clever.
Breezy, that's the issue though, right? What's the odds Chiesa is defense grappling this fight? Steven says, depends if he reverses position from a takedown or not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, let's get them gauges. Striking, we know who that's going to.
Yep, striking's already up. We've got that on Holland, then we have grappling on Chiesa.
Yes.
Power, we've gone for Holland on that one just because Chiesa hasn't got a knockout at all. Yep. Speed, I will go Holland again.
As well.
And cardio, though.
I might go Holland on cardio, because I've actually seen Chiesa gas. But I know I've seen Holland gas, but it's just Holland's just active, isn't he? He's just always active. Yeah,
look, he's been there a little bit recently. What do you think Chiesa's been working on? That's something I'll be interested to find out. I'll have to
mate, 100%. What has he been working on? Why is he not
doing in this time?
Yeah, exactly, mate.
What have you been doing, bro? What have you been doing? I do wonder. So I have to check that out. Maybe dig into the Instagram archives and find out where he's been seen and been taking pictures.
Yeah, I know he's been doing obviously commentating and stuff.
Yeah. But look, that's that. I mean, guys, do you agree? That's what the question is. Do you think that Kevin Holland should be forfeiting some of those stripes we've given him to his corner? But look, I feel like it's probably going to be a blue corner win on this one to start the card off. I think Kevin Holland does have the advantages in the striking. I think he's going to be able to catch Chiesa as he tries to close the distance, getting inside. But Chiesa's best bet is to tie up those weapons and get him down to the ground. The big question I was wondering is, can he do it? But look, this is why Kevin went down. Is the weight class as well? Like he's hoping that he's able to muscle his way in those top positions where if it is a muscle off, shake off the takedown attempts. But look, that's that for me. I think that wraps it up. Any other questions? Any other chats there?
Last three. Breezy says, I will say though, I'll never forget Holland's KO of Souza. Yeah, exactly. That was a great KO when Souza was on top of him, hammer fists.
Oh my, yeah,
it was a great finish.
Who Steven can generate that much power from being on their back?
Crazy. Steven says, I'd say that's a fair assessment to obviously the ticks that we had. Breezy says, how could I disagree with such a beautiful ring man? There you go. Who?
Me?
Steven.
Oh, you always know what to say, bro. You always know what to say.
Oh, what ring man? I get you.
Of course.
Oh, last comment. Steven goes, last comment.
There we
go. Give me your PayPal. I owe you money for that burger.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm just terrible with Jordan, man. I've got to chase a few people for monies. Well, look, maybe get in the ring sometime and we'll go. So I'll go to HR about it.
Yeah.
Put it through. Put it in email, mate. Yeah. Class. No, decent bloke. Cheers.
Thank you all for your
I'll
comments.
send you something. Yeah, guys, you've been absolutely amazing. Some great predictions in there as well. Some great opinions, some great thoughts, and it's really helped steer the ship if it doesn't already steer itself, And it's just great to have you guys on board. So much appreciate your inputs and your thoughts on it. I think for me, to wrap up and give some final comments on the card, I think it's going to start off from what we're going to see to be quite an exciting exciting matchup, striker versus wrestler, but it's really good from that point, going to really take off into something different. Each of the fights from there on forth could probably have headlined their own card, and I would have
1,000%, yeah.
I would have sit in for it, you know, far more than events we've seen as of late. Like I'd much rather these guys, you know what I mean? So I'm super stoked and excited for what's coming up. The BMF belt is ironically
Definitely gonna be fight tonight, the main event.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like the BMF belt is on the line at the top end of it, and everyone else, I mentioned it earlier, is like a nominee for it. You know that
Yes.
You know, first nominee up is the Bogeyman, who is, you know, he should also be considered as BMF status. Maybe not as much as the guys that are gonna be fighting for it, but you know, he's part of the mix. And I can think of that many a time with the guys to follow too. So hat off and big round of applause to whoever put this card together. I'm super excited for it, and I can't wait. But you guys in the chat once again.
Can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Yes, do come down for it.
Well, Sunday morning, should I say?
Indeed.
But yeah, can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions when obviously we get to the live watch along.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it's all about. You know, honestly, chime on in. Do not watch alone, watch along. That's going to be Saturday night, depending where you are, or Sunday morning, 3 a.m. Over here in the UK side. And we'll be giving you the full coverage of the main card itself. So yeah, do wake up for it and tune into the ATF channel. And again, watch along with community. It's not something you should be watching alone. Not something like this, right?
No, exactly.
Aside from that, we'll have next Tuesday, JK is going to be back with the Aftermath show. Just going to talk about everything that's come out of the back end of this. So if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe so you know exactly what's coming up and you do get those notifications through as they come. But we've had an exciting week so far. Some things have been released. Yes. If you haven't seen already the interview with David Grant or with Joanna and Jacek or the game we played with her as well, there's so much cool and fun content out on our channel too for you guys to lap up and enjoy. So click away after this video and we'll love to see you back here next time. But for now, that's me. Me and Ash out. Love, peace, chicken grease. We done it again. We done it again.
Yay.
You look